All right, so today we're going to kind of dive into this whole world of Hollywood and like where it meets AI.
Hmm.
We're looking at this NextGen AI podcast episode called AI in Hollywood. Will machines replace actors and filmmakers?
Oh, very cool.
So we're going to kind of think about our favorite actors about to be replaced by, lines of code.
Right.
And is the next big blockbuster script going to be written by a bot? Um,
Yeah, it's interesting because they talk about in the episode how AI is already kind of like woven into the fabric of Hollywood, even if we don't realize it.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
like we see it in the crazy visual effects and CGI, and it's even used to like speed up the editing and sound design process.
Hopefully.
So like in a way, it's already happening.
Yeah, it's already happening. It's not like a future thing.
Yeah.
And they actually quote an industry expert in the episode who said, AI isn't replacing creativity, it's redefining how we create,
Yeah.
which I think is a really good point.
Yeah, I think that's really important because I think we tend to think of it as like this cold, calculating force.
Right.
But like, what if it's actually helping us unlock new levels of creativity?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Now let's get into some specific examples.
Okay.
So they talked about a tool called Script Flow
Uh-huh.
that analyzes trends in box office hits and like breaks down popular character archetypes.
Oh, wow.
So is this the key to like churning out guaranteed blockbusters, or are we headed toward like generic algorithm-driven movies?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see how studios might be like, let's just plug it in and pump these things out.
Yeah.
But like, savvy filmmakers, I think, could use it in a really clever way.
Yeah.
Like imagine, using it to analyze like what audiences expect and then subverting those expectations
Ooh, wow.
to create something really original.
Yeah, using AI to understand the rules so you can break them in like a better way. Right, and that leads perfectly into one of the like more controversial topics that they address in the podcast, which is deepfakes. And they talk about how we've already seen this with like, digital versions of actors who have passed away, like Paul Walker in Fast and Furious and Carrie Fisher in Star Wars.
Right.
So it's incredible technology, but it opens a Pandora's box of ethical questions.
It does.
Right.
Totally. And they really delve into this debate of like, should Hollywood be able to bring back actors without their consent? Even if it means like potentially upsetting families or like messing with their legacy.
Yeah.
It's a big question.
Absolutely. And it's not even just about actors who have passed away. Like, what about the rise of like virtual influencers
Yeah, yeah.
and like AI-generated celebrities?
Right. We're going to have movie stars that never even existed.
Yeah, it makes you really think about what we're drawn to in actors and celebrities. Like, is it their talent or their personality or just the image? And if an AI can create like this perfect digital replica, does that like devalue the human element of the performance?
Yeah. That's a big question
It is a big question.
that the industry's going to have to grapple with
Totally.
moving forward.
Yeah, and the conversation is just getting started.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it really is. And, this whole conversation ties into another big question they asked in the podcast. Like, will robots actually take over Hollywood?
Right.
I mean, a lot of people are worried that AI is going to, put actors, writers, and directors out of work.
Yeah, especially with the recent Hollywood strikes.
Exactly.
The role of AI in the industry was like a huge point of contention.
Right.
But the podcast also offered a different perspective. Like, what if instead of thinking of AI as like this job-stealing robot,
Yeah.
we thought of it as like a potential creative partner?
Right. And I think that's a much more nuanced and honestly exciting way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like, what if it could actually help us tell better stories and create even more immersive experiences?
Yeah. They even brought up AI-directed films, which,
Whoa.
that's pretty mind-blowing. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine a movie that adapts in real time to your mood or your reactions?
It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But even if we don't have like AI calling all the shots on set,
Yeah,
I think there's so much potential for collaboration.
totally.
Like the podcast gave this example of AI handling the more technical aspects of filmmaking, like the editing or even generating certain types of dialogue,
Oh, wow.
which could free up human artists to focus on like the emotional core of the story.
Yeah, it's like you have this super-powered assistant that can handle all the like tedious tasks.
Right.
And then you can really dive into like the heart of the story
Yeah,
and develop those really nuanced character interactions.
exactly. And this goes back to that quote from the podcast. AI can write a script, but it takes human emotion to turn words into magic.
Oh, I like that.
AI can create technically sound dialogue,
Right.
but can it really capture like the complexities of human emotion?
Yeah.
Those subtle nuances that make a character feel real.
It seems like the real magic happens when you combine the power of AI with like the creativity and emotional intelligence of human storytellers.
I think so too. It's about finding that sweet spot where technology like enhances and amplifies our creativity
Right.
rather than trying to like replicate or replace it.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking about that balance.
Yeah.
The podcast also touched on the idea of AI helping us like push the boundaries of storytelling in ways that we haven't even imagined yet.
They talked about how AI could analyze like massive amounts of data to identify emerging trends
Yeah.
and like predict what audiences might be craving in the future.
Right. So it could help us break free from those like tired tropes and formulas
Exactly.
that we see in so many movies.
Yeah, it's like having a crystal ball
Yeah.
that can tell you what kind of stories will resonate with people, but then it's up to us, the human creators, to actually bring those stories to life.
Yeah. Yeah. In a meaningful and engaging way.
Exactly. And that's where the real challenge lies.
Right.
We have to be careful not to let the algorithms dictate every aspect of storytelling. Otherwise, we risk ending up with a homogenized, predictable entertainment landscape.
Right. We don't want to lose that like unique spark of human creativity and originality.
Totally.
But I do think there's a way to use it responsibly and ethically to push the boundaries of what's possible in filmmaking.
I agree. And the podcast made a really interesting point. They said by taking over some of the more technical aspects of filmmaking,
Yeah.
AI could actually free up human artists to focus on the things that really matter, like the emotional core of the story, the complexities of the characters, the themes, and the overall message.
Yeah, it feels like we're like on the verge of a whole new era of storytelling, and like the rule book is still being written.
I know, it's so exciting.
It is exciting. It's kind of scary too.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it makes you think about the bigger picture.
It really does. And I think that's part of what makes this conversation so fascinating is that we're like witnessing this technological shift that could like change how we experience and even create entertainment.
Right. So like, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
How do we make sure that AI is used ethically and responsibly in Hollywood?
Right.
I mean, the podcast didn't really give any concrete answers, but it felt like a call to action.
Yeah, it definitely did. They emphasized the importance of having these open conversations about the potential benefits and risks of AI. And it's not just like a discussion for filmmakers and tech developers.
Right.
It involves actors, writers, technicians, and even the audience.
Yeah. We all kind of have a stake in this.
We all do.
It's the future of entertainment for everyone.
Exactly.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we choose to use it.
100%.
And what kind of future we want.
Yeah, totally. And I think we need some guidelines like the podcast highlighted the need for clear ethical considerations, especially around deepfakes and the potential for job displacement.
Right.
We have to find a way to balance innovation with responsibility.
And I keep thinking about the impact on creativity. Like, we don't want to just end up in a world where algorithms are calling all the shots and just like churning out these cookie cutter stories.
No. We need to keep human ingenuity and artistic vision at the heart of storytelling.
Totally.
Even as we embrace new technologies. And like they made a great point. What if by taking care of all the technical stuff, AI could actually free up human artists to like explore the emotional core of their stories even more deeply?
It's a really cool thought. This whole deep dive has really kind of opened my eyes to the possibilities, but also the challenges that come with like integrating AI into Hollywood. It's inspiring and a little bit daunting at the same time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that sense of what if is what makes this so interesting. Like the future of entertainment is unfolding right now and we have the opportunity to help shape it.
So to kind of wrap things up, it seems like the big takeaway is that AI can be this like really powerful tool for storytelling.
Yeah.
But it's not a replacement for human creativity.
For sure.
Finding the right balance, using it ethically and responsibly. I think that's the key.
Well said. And, as we move into this new era of entertainment, the podcast reminded us that the most powerful stories are the ones that connect with us on a human level.
Yeah.
AI can be a part of that, but the heart of storytelling will always belong to us.
So we'll leave you with that thought. What role will AI play in the future of entertainment? What amazing stories are waiting to be told as we keep exploring these boundaries of creativity and technology? It's a super exciting time to be a part of this, and we can't wait to see what happens next.
Subscribe for more content.